I shouldn't have taken that night shift in New York. Not after what happened on my third week. Because whatever followed me out of that subway station wasn't human. I moved to New York for a job that sounded way better on paper than it actually was. It was overnight security for a small office building in Lower Manhattan. Nothing fancy, just a quiet, mostly empty place with a couple of floors, a lobby, and a basement storage area. The kind of job where you sit at a desk, watch cameras, and occasionally do patrols. At first, I actually liked it. The city at night has this weird calm to it. Even though there are always distant sirens and the hum of traffic, it feels different. Like you're seeing a version of the city most people don't. But that feeling didn't last. My shift started at 11 p.m. and ended at 7 a.m. I usually took the subway around 10:15 p.m., got off near the building, grabbed a coffee from a 24-hour deli, and settled in. For the first 2 weeks, nothing unusual happened. Until that Tuesday. It started small. I remember checking the cameras around 1:30 a.m. Just a routine thing. There were about 12 cameras in total. Lobby, hallways, stairwells, and the basement. Everything looked normal except for one thing. Camera 9. It covered the basement hallway, the one leading to the storage rooms. There was a man standing at the far end of the hall. Just standing there. At first, I thought maybe someone from maintenance came in late or forgot to sign in. It happens. But something felt off immediately. He wasn't moving. Not even a little. And the way he was positioned, it didn't look natural. His arms were slightly away from his sides, like he was frozen mid-step. I leaned closer to the monitor. "Hello?" I said out loud, even though I knew he couldn't hear me. No reaction. I picked up the radio and tried calling maintenance, but nobody answered. That's when I decided to go check it myself. I grabbed my flashlight and headed toward the basement. The stairwell felt colder than usual that night. Not freezing, just noticeably colder. By the time I reached the basement door, I was already feeling uneasy. I told myself it was nothing. Probably just some guy messing around, or maybe even a glitch in the camera. I opened the door. The hallway lights flickered once as I stepped in. "Hello?" I called out. My voice echoed louder than it should have. No response. I walked slowly down the hallway, shining my flashlight ahead. The spot where the man had been standing was empty. There was no one there. I checked the storage rooms, one by one, all locked. No signs of forced entry, no noise, nothing. It didn't make sense. I went back upstairs, slightly shaken but trying to stay rational. Maybe the camera feed lagged. Maybe the guy left before I got there. That's what I told myself. But then I checked camera 9 again, and my stomach dropped. The man was back, standing in the same exact spot, same position, same stillness, like nothing had changed. Except this time, he was facing the camera. I froze. I didn't remember him facing the camera before. I would have noticed that. His face was hard to make out because of the low resolution, but I could tell one thing for sure. He was staring directly into it. Like he knew I was watching. I didn't go back down there. Not that time. I stayed in the security room, watching that monitor for almost an hour. And the entire time, he didn't move. At around 3 a.m., the feed cut out. Just that camera. The screen went black. I tapped the monitor, checked the connections. Everything seemed fine. Then suddenly, the feed came back. The hallway was empty again. No man. Nothing. I tried to brush it off. Told myself I was just tired. But something about it stuck with me. That feeling in my gut. It didn't go away. The next night, I almost called in sick. But I didn't want to lose the job. So I went in anyway. Everything was normal at first. Until 2:12 a.m. I remember the exact time. because I kept looking at the clock after that. Camera 9. He was back. Same spot. Same position. But this time, he was closer. Not by a lot. Maybe a few feet. But enough that I could tell he had moved since the night before. And again, I hadn't seen him enter. No doors opened. No alarms triggered. He just appeared. I didn't go down there again. No way. Instead, I locked the security room door and kept watching. Minutes passed. Then something changed. Slowly. Very slowly. He tilted his head. I felt my chest tighten. It wasn't a normal movement. It was too slow. Too controlled. Like something trying to imitate a human. He tilted his head to one side. Then the other. And then he started walking. Not toward the camera. Toward the stairwell. Toward me. I jumped up from my chair. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it. I ran to the door and locked it again, even though it was already locked. Then I backed away. I kept staring at the monitor, watching him move down the hallway, step by step, slow, deliberate. Then he reached the stairs and disappeared from the camera. The stairwell camera lit up next. Camera 7. There he was, climbing. I couldn't breathe. Each step he took felt louder than it should have been, even though I couldn't actually hear him. It was just in my head. Or at least I hoped it was. He kept climbing. 1 floor. 2 floors. 3. Until he reached my floor. The camera outside the security room turned on. Camera 3. And there he was, standing right outside the door. He didn't knock. Didn't move. Just stood there, facing the door. I stayed completely still. Didn't make a sound. Didn't even breathe properly. Minutes passed. Maybe longer. I lost track of time. Then, he leaned forward, slowly, until his face was inches from the door. There was a small gap near the bottom, not big enough to see clearly, but enough that I could see something shift in the light, like a shadow moving. And then I heard it, a whisper, from the other side of the door. Let me in. My entire body went cold. The voice didn't sound right. It was too flat, too empty. Like it didn't belong to a person. I didn't respond. I couldn't. Let me in. He said it again. Same tone. No emotion. I backed away further until I hit the wall behind me. My phone was in my pocket, but I was too scared to even take it out. Then the handle moved. I swear I almost screamed. He tried turning it. Once. Twice. Slowly. Like he was testing it. Then everything went quiet. I stayed there for what felt like hours. Eventually, I forced myself to look at the monitor again. Camera 3. Empty. He was gone. I didn't leave that room until my shift ended. When morning came, I grabbed my stuff and got out as fast as I could. I didn't even check the basement again. But the worst part, it didn't end there. That night, on my way home, I took the subway like usual. The train was mostly empty. Just a few people scattered around. I sat near the middle, trying to convince myself it was over. That it was just some insane coincidence or a prank. Then the train stopped between stations. The lights flickered once, twice, then stabilized. And that's when I saw him, in the reflection of the window. Sitting behind me, I slowly turned around, my heart already knowing what I'd see. He was there. Same clothes, same blank expression, same unnatural stillness. No one else seemed to notice him. No one reacted. It was like he wasn't even there. He didn't move, didn't blink, just stared at me. Then, very slowly. He smiled, and that's when I got off at the next stop. Didn't care where I was. I just ran. I quit that job the next day. Didn't go back. Didn't even pick up my last paycheck. But sometimes, late at night, when I'm alone, I still feel like I'm being watched. And every once in a while, if I catch my reflection at the right angle, I swear, he's standing behind me. I got a text from a number I didn't recognize at 2:41 a.m. It just said, "Don't get off at your stop tonight." I should have listened. I moved to New York for college, but to afford rent, I worked nights at a 24-hour convenience store in Brooklyn. My shift ended at 2:30 a.m., and I'd usually catch the subway home around 2:50. It wasn't ideal, but after a few weeks, you get used to it. The late-night crowd is weird, sure, but predictable. Drunk people, tired workers, the occasional guy talking to himself. Nothing I couldn't handle. At least, that's what I thought. That night started like any other. It was a Thursday, slow shift. I spent most of it restocking shelves and scrolling on my phone. Around 2:30 a.m., I clocked out, grabbed a drink, and started walking to the station. That's when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something made me open it. "Don't get off at your stop tonight." That was it. No name, no explanation. I frowned, thinking it was some kind of prank. I even typed back, "Who is this?" No reply. I shrugged it off and kept walking. The station was almost empty. Just one guy sitting on the bench, hood up, head down. I didn't think much of it. The train arrived a couple minutes later. I got on and sat near the doors. There were maybe 5 other people in the entire car, everyone keeping to themselves. Normal. But then I noticed something. The guy from the platform, the one with the hood, had gotten on the same car. And he was sitting directly across from me. I didn't think much of it at first. It's New York. People get on the same train. But there was something off about him. He wasn't moving. At all. Not looking at his phone. Not adjusting his position. Just sitting there. Head slightly tilted down. Like he was staring at the floor. I tried to ignore it. Pulled out my phone. Scrolled through Instagram. But every few seconds I felt this urge to look up. Like something was telling me to check. After a couple minutes, I did. And my stomach dropped. He was looking at me. I didn't see him move his head. 1 second he was looking down. The next, he was staring straight at me. I quickly looked away, pretending I hadn't noticed. My heart started beating faster. Maybe he just happened to look up at the same time. That's what I told myself. Then my phone buzzed again. Same unknown number. "He's watching you." I felt a cold wave wash over me. I didn't even want to look up again. But I did. Slowly. Carefully. He was still staring at me. This time I was sure. He wasn't blinking. Wasn't moving. Just staring. I stood up. Moved to the other end of the car. Sat down near another passenger. An older woman. Trying to feel safer. A few seconds later, the guy stood up too. My chest tightened. I watched him from the corner of my eye. He walked slowly and sat down again, directly across from me. I grabbed my phone again. My hands were shaking now. I typed, "Who is this? What's going on?" Almost instantly, a reply came. "He doesn't want you to get off." I stared at the message, trying to process it. Didn't want me to get off? Why? My stop was coming up in 2 stations. I didn't know what to do. Ignore it? Get off anyway? Stay on? I looked up again. He was still staring. Then something changed. His lips moved. Just slightly. Like he was whispering something. But I couldn't hear it. That's when I made a decision. I wasn't getting off. The train reached my stop. The doors opened. A couple people got off. I stayed seated. The doors closed. The train moved. I felt a small sense of relief. Maybe I was overreacting, but something told me I made the right choice. Then my phone buzzed again. Good. I exhaled slowly. Okay, I muttered to myself. This is weird, but maybe it's over. It wasn't. The guy stood up again. I froze. He started walking toward me. Slow. Unhurried. I looked around. No one else seemed to notice. No one reacted. He stopped right in front of me. Up close. Something felt wrong. His face looked normal, but also not. Like something was slightly off, but I couldn't place it. He leaned down slightly, closer to my face, and whispered, "You should have gotten off." I felt my blood run cold. Then he turned and walked to the next car. Just like that. I sat there, completely frozen, my mind racing. A minute later, my phone buzzed again. "Now get off at the next stop. Don't wait." I didn't question it. As soon as the train slowed down, I stood up, walked to the door, waited. The second it opened, I got off. The station was almost empty. Just a flickering light and the sound of the train pulling away. I stood there, trying to calm down, trying to understand what just happened. Then I noticed something. The train hadn't fully left yet, and through the window, I could see him, standing in the doorway between cars, watching me and smiling. The train disappeared into the tunnel, and he was gone. I stood there for a few minutes before heading up the stairs. I didn't even care that I was miles away from home. I just wanted to get out of there. When I reached the street, I finally checked my phone again. I wanted to thank whoever had been texting me, whoever had warned me. But when I opened the messages, they were gone. All of them, like they had never been there. No number, no texts, nothing. I checked my call log, my notifications, everything. There was no record of it. I tried to tell myself it was some kind of glitch. Or maybe I imagined it. But deep down, I knew that wasn't true. A few days later, I saw something on the news. A report about a man found dead in a subway tunnel. They said he had gotten off at the wrong stop late at night. Alone. No witnesses. No clear cause of death. But the part that stuck with me was the security footage they showed. Just for a second. The man standing on the platform before he died. And behind him, barely visible in the shadows, was someone else, standing completely still, watching him. Same posture, same stillness, same man from the train. I don't take the subway late at night anymore. I switched jobs, changed my routine. But sometimes, when I'm walking home, my phone buzzes. From an unknown number. I never open it, because I'm afraid one day it won't be a warning. It'll be too late.